Hi and welcome back to Finders Beefers History Seekers in my favourite place. You know what? I actually love just sitting here, not filming. I don't just come down here to film, right? You've got the beautiful church up there. It's very similar to the church I got married in, to be fair. In fact, I think it might be the sister church of the church that I got married in. It's just lovely because there's no people wandering up and down every 5 seconds. The view over there is amazing, and I will show you that in a minute. To be fair, it's not amazing, it's just lovely. It's just a field and then a hill and some water. There's nothing amazing to it. It's just nice and I like it. There's some big houses over there as well, hidden in the trees, that a lot of people that live in this village don't even know are there. So I don't know, there's something about it. And then this wonderful Victorian graveyard, which, to be fair, you can't even see properly from here. You've only got a couple of gravestones. There's loads up there, some really good ones. And I'm thinking about making a video about this graveyard at some point, researching some of the graves and things like that. So keep an eye out for that, hopefully in December, because I'm guessing this is going to go out today. It's either going to go out today or next week. So next week is December, and I'm hoping to get out loads and loads of videos for December. Anyway, back to the abandoned house review. Now, I'm still having to explain this. There's still people that are like, this isn't very much of an explore. Why are you only showing bits of it? It's the abandoned house review. So this will be linked, the place that we went to will be linked in the description. If you've not seen this video so far, maybe worth going and watching that first and then coming back to this video. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to spoil a video for you. And a lot of people have been like, oh, I haven't seen this one. I feel like they're missing out on the full video first. So go down into the description. I'll put the link in there. And if you've not seen it, watch it. If you have seen it, then carry on watching this video. Right, this is the Palace of Manetta, or Manetta Villa, and it is amazing when you actually look up close. In fact, I'll show you some of the bits on it now. Right, starting at the front door, moving up above that window, probably my favourite bit, favourite detail. Look at him, sat above there. Now, this place has got history of very dark history. It's also, like I said, got some bits that you wouldn't expect linked to our lifetimes, but the place itself is unbelievable. If you look at if I go a bit closer, it's a bit hard to film, if I'm being honest, because there's all these trees. If you look at the details, just in places that aren't really that important either, and the balconies, and just how it is in general, it's just a wonderful building. Now, I know I'm going to be a bit disappointed showing you, because it is a state, it is a total state, but you need to use your imagination. For a start, you can see how the ceilings used to be, all the detail. Probably should get my torch out now I'm inside. Now, this place was amazing, yet terrible. It was one of the most trashed places I've ever been. However, I couldn't not show it you because of the history of it. The history was just unbelievable. One of the most, I don't know, like diverse history I've ever seen in one of these buildings. From like the dingy, dark child stuff that went off, the politicians, the army, the circus. Like, it got everything. Even bleeding Princess Diana and Dodi, it got everything to it. But the building itself was just wonderful. Oh, look at this though. What a wonderful building this is. Look at the doors. I love this stone. It's like brick. It's like the same stuff that makes brick, but better somehow. Yeah, look at that. I love the colour of that. Now, one of the major sort of comments on the video was about the building itself. I asked about what it could be made out of. People were saying things like the terracotta because it's not terracotta tiles, it's terracotta like stuff that you make terracotta. I am terrible. My wording on things is so bad sometimes. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, basically the outside was made out of terracotta, but not terracotta like we would know in the bowls and tiles and stuff like that. It was literally just made into the building. Terracotta clay. Sometimes I don't know what I'm on about. But yeah, people were saying how they'd love to live there. They'd love to redo it. People were asking for floor plans. People were asking for all sorts. People were talking about how it could be saved, how it was such a shame and things like that. And it is a shame. Like a building like that, really. I don't know whether it's been let go because of its history, like the reason it's not how it was. However, when Diana came to look at it, it was in a lot better state. Obviously, it's like, what, 1997? So what we're talking, like 27 years ago. So obviously it's gone downhill quite a lot in that time. Also, I've seen there's quite a lot of subsidence. So it's on, like I told you, it's on quite a steep hill, and they're quite concerned about it slipping away. So no restoration work's been done on it because of that. But surely there's a way of shoring these things up. They do it in places. It's not like in a beach. I am a bit concerned because Bear has disappeared again. This is the only problem with coming here. I like to let him run off, but there are dog walkers that walk above here occasionally, and I can see him. He's here. He's just walking past a military grave just down there. Bear boy, come on. Come here. It's because there's loads of squirrels in here as well. So he's looking for squirrels, trying to find them, and the occasional rabbit. But I can see him now, so we're all right. So yeah, I feel like this place should have been saved. It should have been looked after, but maybe they thought, one, with its history, they didn't want to, and two, with the amount of work that would have to go in to stop it slipping off that hill, then maybe that's the reason. But yeah, these are those tunnels around the outside of the building that I don't really know what they would have used them for. And I'm guessing it's going to link back to that big grill that we came up against a minute ago. Oh, it's freaky in here. This is like something out of a, what do you call it, an asylum. Maybe this is how they transported the girls in here. How they brought them in through the back passages. You know what I mean? They brought them in through the back passages so nobody saw who was coming in and leaving. But I was correct. We can't get out that way. So back the way we've just come. Right, I'm inside and I'm getting soaked. But I've just walked the full length of the tunnel. Right to the opposite end. Back from, what is that? Back from where I came, and look what I've come to now. So at the opposite end of the tunnel, we've got more big gates, but you can't actually get through here. I don't know where it goes that way. And there's another tunnel that runs that way. However, oh my God. Oh, fucking hell. This is so spooky. I've got thunder rolling above me. And I'm inside this place. Now, what I was going to say was, before the thunder rudely interrupted me, I've got my back to the outside wall of this place. And that tunnel runs that way. So where the hell does that tunnel go? Because it goes away from the building. I can't see around that corner, and I definitely can't see around that one. So where does that tunnel go? That takes you away from the building altogether in the wrong direction. So why have they put that there? Next up, and this is one of the things that excite me. You know what? I really wish I'd gone and had a look in the tunnels. Like, I'm talking about the tunnels. Just don't explain myself sometimes. The tunnels that we found round the back with the big metal like gates on them and stuff. When I was leaving the building, if you watch the behind the scenes video, you'll see I found the entrance down near the big massive gates to get in the place, to go up the drive. I found the entrance to the tunnels that would then lead to the main house. I didn't go in them. I went up to the entrance and it was falling down a bit, but to be fair, it weren't falling down that much. But because I was so wet and I just wanted to get back to the car, I was so tired and so wet, I just thought, oh, sorry, I can't be bothered. And I really, really wish now, I've got it in my head that I almost kind of want to go back just to go in those bits of tunnels and have a look round. It was so good, but so eerie, so creepy to think that those tunnels were probably originally they were probably to bring servants in, to bring the food and all the stuff into the house. It's not all like, ooh, conspiracies and all this. But I genuinely do think it was used at some point to bring the kids into the house, because it isn't just local story. This is something that happened. It's something that went on, and it's documented. So I reckon rather than bringing them in through the front door, that's where they'd bring them through these spooky tunnels. Imagine being one of those kids. Imagine knowing that something wasn't right. Maybe you don't know the full story of what's going to happen to you, and go through these tunnels, and then you end up in this house. You're like, wow, look at this house. Next thing you know, you're upstairs. Oh God, it's awful. It is absolutely awful. But like I said on the video, it's only like these Diddy parties, but the difference was they were trying to be stars, and they had people promising them all sorts, giving them drinks, and then next thing they woke up a couple of days later. It goes on, and it's horrendous and it's terrible. But I do find it interesting. I know that sounds sick, but I find it interesting. Ooh, is that 1 o'clock? Yeah, 1 o'clock. We only got one ding. But it is interesting because it's like, I don't know, it's that macabre thing to it of like stuff that used to go on and probably went on a lot more than it does today, but you just didn't know about it because it was hidden away. It was one of those secrets in plain sight kind of thing. Now, I bet you're thinking, you said earlier on this links to my life, my lifetime somehow, this building, and it does. So this building had bids placed on it by Dodie Fayed in 1997. Was it 97? Yeah, 1997, the year that him and Diana died. Apparently they'd been in Italy, and I'm pretty sure I remember photos of her and him on a boat in Italy just before she died. And apparently they'd been here, and they placed bids on sealed bids on this place because it was like a sealed bid auction, and they were about to buy the place. So Dodie Fayed and Princess Diana would have been living here if they'd not died, or they would have lived here at some point. How crazy is that? So Diana, Princess of Wales, has walked around this building. Mad. Next up, the Diana and Dodi involvement in the place. I just think it's brill. I don't know why. I've been to a lot of amazing buildings over the years, and a lot of them, people like Coco Chanel have been to, people like Winston Churchill have walked around, famous military people, famous actors, actresses. And just to think they have walked the same place you have. Like, don't get me wrong, when Diana went, it would have looked totally different, but to think that they have been in that space, this is what I've talked about before, with things like not ghosts, it's not ghosts, it's people being in the same space as you, and you can almost imagine them in that space, and it almost feels like a ghost, because you can almost feel their presence walking through the same places as you, and like looking at the same things as you. I find that weird, like spooky, more spooky than ghosts in a way, because it's like a past, that the building holds the past. I don't know how to explain it, but I find it really cool. But to think that Diana, it was just literally weeks, if not days before she died, she was looking at that place and genuinely thinking, oh yeah, I'd love to live here. But that's because she will have been loving her time there. Like, there was all the pictures on the boats around the south of France and Italy, in the newspapers just before the time of her death, and that's when she will have been looking. And I think that makes it even more cool for me as well, because I remember those videos, like being on the news, and I remember the photos. I was never a massive fan of Diana, if I'm being honest. Like, and you know I'm a massive royalist, but I had no real connection to her. I don't know why. I just didn't. It's not that I didn't like her. I just didn't really have that connection. However, it's still a part of history that I think, wow, I can't believe that actually happened. And to think that I was in the same building that she was looking at buying was crazy. I had one message. I think, this is my guess, and I'm sorry, Americans, I feel like I'm digging at you recently, but I have a feeling this was an American comment. Why don't you send a message to Prince Harry to say you were in the house that she was looking at buying? Like, as a Brit, or an Englishman, or a Scotsman, or whatever you want to classify me as, we don't have, like, the personal, like, numbers of the royal family. We don't pop round for a cup of tea. It just doesn't happen. Like, you've got to think, in my lifetime, I've probably been to London 10 times. Like, in my entire 45 years on this planet. I think every American thinks that we go to Buckingham Palace, or we go to, not every American, but a lot of them think that we pop round for a cuppa and stuff. It's just weird. It's weird. But no, I can't message Harry and say, oh, Harry, I've been in your mum's house. So I've also, that's weird though, really, now thinking about it, because I have met King Charles. I have met his brother, Prince Edward. I have had a shower and pooed in Prince Andrew's house, and I've now been in a house that Diana was going to buy. What's next? Princess Anne's stables. But yeah, it is it's just a weird connection thing. I love the royal family though, you know I do. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I found it pretty cool. Okay, hell, man. I am not alright. Oh, I feel sick. I just took a right tumble. I was filming something that was going to be for a TikTok for Halloween, and it involved me filming those creepy gates, like backing off from them, and then running down this corridor. The only problem is, I didn't notice the massive log on the floor, and I just went flying. I just flew across the floor. Oh my God. So I started off there, and I turned and I ran. You'll be able to see it in the behind the scenes video, but I ran, and I kicked that, and I went absolutely flying. Absolutely flying. My arms, my hands, there's bits of glass all over this floor as well. You can see sort of the skid marks, and then my butt cheeks where I landed. Oh, my ribs. Oh, I don't know if I've hurt a rib. Oh God, and those big jaggedy pieces of glass all over the floor. I am very lucky. Very, very lucky. Now, a few people, as they do on most videos, I'm a bit worried about you. You're on your own in these buildings. Actually, have I still got a scar? A little bit. I've got a little bit of a scar. So yeah, I had a fall in there, and it's my own stupid fault for making Halloween videos and like running and then just not looking where I was running, and there was a log on the floor and I went straight over it, and the video ends quite abruptly because I'm like, at that point I was wet. I'd been in there for ages, and I thought, you know what, I just want to fucking go. I just want to go. I'm done. I'm bored of being here now. I need to get out of here. So I'm like, oh, I've fallen over, so I'm going now. But I don't know. I think it was just such an odd day. The rain was banging down, and I felt like where my car was going to get flooded. Now, when I walked away, one of the paths down was just like a river. And as you've seen over the last couple of weeks, Spain, in fact, about an hour's drive from where I was, where I was the next day, was where all the cars were washing away and the floods were happening in Europe, and they're still going on now. So I knew something wasn't quite right with the weather. I got thunderstorms going off, I got torrential rain. I just wanted to get back somewhere warm. And when you've had a fall as well, and it proper winded me, I think I broke a rib or cracked a rib. Hurt my knee. My knee probably was the least bad bit, and I really hurt my wrist because I landed on one side. I think my elbow went into my rib. I'm pretty sure I've cracked a rib because it got to the stage about 2 weeks. If you're anyone that's broken a rib or cracked a rib, it hurts a lot when you do it, and it gets worse. You have like a little lull where it's not too bad, and you think, oh, this is not too bad, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 days later, you can hardly move. So I definitely, having broken ribs before, I'm pretty sure I cracked a rib at that point. So yeah, I understand why people are worried. I understand why people get concerned about these things, but is what it is. Like, you wouldn't get the videos you get if it wasn't for me going by myself, because I'm not going with anybody else. At one, I don't trust most of the people anymore that go exploring, and the politics within exploring is mad. Now, there's certain people like your Adam Marks, your Ghost Theories, I know, like, I would go exploring with them, but I kind of enjoy it more on my own. So that's number two. Number two is I prefer to do it by myself. I can go and do stuff, and I don't have to worry about anybody else. So it's never going to change. Stop trying to convert me into going with someone else, because it ain't happening. All the detail, and you will see a bit of a theme. So if you look at this guy here, bit of a demon with something covering his bits, a Virginia type lady, and there seems to be very much a theme of evil and good, but innocent good. Look, there seems to be a lot of what you would probably class as, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, but like goats, aren't they supposed to be something to do with the devil? Although they've got wings. I've never seen goats with wings before. And then women with odd-shaped boobies. What is happening there now? I know 90% of women have one smaller boob than the other, but that is quite unfortunate. Now, some of the, not effigies, depictions on the wall of different things, like the winged goat. I've had a lot of people saying things like it's based on something called Baphomet, or I think Baphomet, I think, which is like a demonic type creature. And there was a lot of things in there that were based on children and goats and sort of demonic-y type things. So I honestly think it was originally built with that in mind. I think it was designed that way, because why would you put those things in the house if not? It kind of doesn't make sense. Oh, you're back, are you? Hello, bear. Oh, you're wet. Get down. You can't even see him. He's been walking. Yesterday, he couldn't walk. Bear could not walk yesterday. He'd hurt his paw. I don't know what he'd done. Today, he's running around like a madman. So, God knows. I think he might have got something stuck in there. Even though I opened his paw right up to have a look, I couldn't see a thing. But now, he's fine again, and he's causing chaos as usual. I'm looking around this graveyard. The different depictions of different things on the walls, it just can't be coincidence, in my opinion. It really can't. Now, thinking about the terrible things that happened in that house, can you imagine that today with like a politician? Well, I suppose you can. I don't know. I'm thinking like everybody knew what was going off in the town. They were bringing their daughters to him. Like, in the local area, people knew what was happening. It's more that. Can you imagine that happening today? Can you imagine, like, your local village going to their local MP and going, sort me out a better house, I'll let you do me daughter? That is just a bit weird, isn't it? I know stuff goes on, and I know sometimes things get covered up, but on a scale like that, I think the next nearest thing to that is Bleeding Jimmy Savile. And then people in the locality didn't know about it. It was only the people like his bosses and stuff that knew about it. There's a man walking up there, so I've got Bear on his lead because I know that he's going to try and take out his ankles. But yeah, I just think it's really strange. Also, the whole circus thing, all the animals just running wild around that place. I can't imagine all those weird and wonderful animals for the time, because you've got to think a lot of people wouldn't have seen animals like that. There wouldn't have been zoos the same as we have now. There's no internet and things like that. Imagine all these weird animals just legging it round this land. It's just another really strange thing. What a weird house. But I absolutely loved it. Anyway, over the next couple of weeks, I am going to do some historic house reviews. So that doesn't mean like I'm going to look at Chatsworth House. It just means I'm going to look back at some of our explores from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. No, we've only been going 7 years. 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I'm an idiot. I'm going to look back at some of those, look at your comments on those as well. And it just gives you a chance to look back at some of the videos you've probably forgotten and get to see Andy's beautiful face. So hopefully you're going to enjoy those. So I will see you soon. Have a great end of November, and I will see you in December.